Ho ho ho, and welcome to another episode of Real Sith Genius. I am your host, Ranger J, 1999, talking about what we love to talk about, and that's Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, Star Wars stuff. Hell, anything Star Wars related gets your crank going. So we are here. This is episode 6, and we've got an awesome show for you guys tonight. And of course, it would not be a Real Sith Genius broadcast without, you know him, you love him, the man with the technical know-how, Mr. Finity. Finn, go on and say hello to yourself.
Hi, Finity. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks. And thank you, Ranger, for the introduction.
You're such a smart ass, man. Why can't you just do it the way I said, man? God.
I did. You told me to say hi to myself, and I did.
Oh God. I can tell that this is gonna be one of them damn streams. Okay. As you can see, we have other people in the stream tonight. First of all, let me introduce the man who's been helping us with a lot. He's been gone for a little while. Some would think because of a exile that I put on him because of the dish incident of episode 3, but that's really not the case. You guys know this guy. He's awesome. Mr. Lampshade, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mr. Lampshade. What's going on, interweb?
What's going on, brother? You on vacation?
I was up in mountains, high as the sky, just climbing, being behaving. But here, live, and talking about some Star Wars with you awesome folks.
All right. And, of course, we have a special guest. He runs his own YouTube channel that talks about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. He's been on the stream before, but we're glad to have him back. And you know him, you love him, Mr. Baldo. Please go ahead and say hello to the peeps out there.
What's up, players? This is Baldo here with Infinity Ranger 1999, and
He forgot Lampshade.
Wow, this time.
So that's a fun introduction. I just thought I would introduce them all. That's really nice to be on the live stream.
That was great.
You started off by dissing Lampshade. You're off to a good start with me.
True that. Oh, that's so awesome. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff to cover, man. I mean, it seems like we keep getting caught up to stuff, and man, they keep putting more stuff out, so oh yeah, we're gonna get into it. So first thing on the agenda, man, they keep throwing stuff at us. First thing is, and it just launched today, was
what launched today?
The Biggs, Biggs. They finally did. They had announced it, but they did the Biggs and Wedge launch. Before getting into that, I wanted to do this for Lampshade and for Finn. You can see Han Solo. He's able to be activated. So I figured while we're on the stream, I might as well go ahead and activate him. So there he goes. There's Han Solo.
Activate that Han Solo.
He is activated and confirm. There we go. Now I just need 185 more shards to get him to level 7, and then mods.
Everyone in the stream on the chat right now, go ahead and type clap so you can clap for
How
Ranger.
dare you, sir? How dare you?
We can give out my ally code. I have a 7-star Han Solo.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end of the stream.
We can do that later on.
Sorry, I meant to do that at the beginning of the stream and lost focus on what we were talking about. I just wanted to do that because that mother is a pain in the butt to get, man. If you're farming him right now, I feel your pain. I feel it. I feel it so much.
Ranger, I'm gonna hop in here. I think that the 5-star Han Solo is not much different from the 7-star Han Solo.
Really?
Basically, you're relying, especially basically, in my opinion, you're really relying on. I think that Han Solo is a level 90 character, and I think that you're really relying on him to be more or less the push to stun a Jawa engineer and a droid synergy. So his synergy, what he does skill wise is stuns a guy right off the bat, right? So it doesn't matter if he's 7-star, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever. He's still stunning that engineer right off the bat. So that's gonna push you in arena. Do
Okay.
I suggest putting him in arena?
I wouldn't.
If you're not facing droids, God no, because he's so squishy.
Well, he's going to be
But
part of
other
this.
than
He's
that-
he's part of the scoundrel run. I need another scoundrel, so, and we're pretty consistent with our raids, so he'll be one less scoundrel I have to worry about farming. But let's get into this first announcement, Biggs and Wedge. Now, if people that are not familiar with, we're going to pull this up on the screen. Real quick canon thing with Biggs and Wedge. They were both introduced in episode 4. Now that's changing because they're now introducing Wedge in Rebels this season, when he was at the Academy. Now Biggs and Wedge were the two pilots that were flying with Rogue Squadron that went and attacked the Death Star, the first one. Now in that battle, when Luke makes his run, Wedge and Biggs were both right behind him, protecting him. Biggs actually grew up with Luke on Tatooine. They were friends, and they knew each other for a long time. Biggs was the first one to go. It's part of the canon that's kind of not canon, but there's actually a deleted scene that you can find on YouTube where you see a picture or a whole scene where it shows Luke going into the town and running into Biggs and them talking about some things. It was not added to the original episode 4. It was one of those deleted scenes, but it showed their history of friendship and stuff like that. That's why it had, knowing that scene, if you see that and then go back and watch episode 4 and you watch when Biggs dies, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Star Wars No New Hope, then I don't know what you're doing here. But when he dies,
I've obviously seen.
Yeah, so why that impact is so significant to Luke, because Biggs gives his life for the cause and everything. Now Wedge doesn't, and Wedge goes on to become a major player. He's also in Return of the Jedi, Empire and Return of the Jedi. He's one of their best pilots ever. And so what they're doing is they're taking that synergy from episode 4 of that group of Luke, Biggs, and Wedge, and they're just taking the Wedge and Biggs aspect and they're making a synergy with it. So go ahead, Finity, and that's the quick canon of it. Go ahead and get into your piece of the pie.
So if you guys haven't had a chance yet, we have the SWGOH pics of the new abilities and the damage up on the screen. They have a lot of anti-Empire setup now with their abilities. But I think the main thing we'll discuss today is going to be the synergy between the two. Now, there's been a lot of characters lately, and I've noticed it more with like Geonosians and Tuscans, where you get kind of leader-type abilities as uniques. And if you're looking at Wedge and Biggs, not so much Biggs, it's more with Wedge. He has the unique ability where with Red Leader, he gets a bonus based on other people's health. So if they have full health, he gets a bonus, and if they're not full health, including if they die, another bonus. The synergy comes now where if Biggs is on the same team, Biggs gets the bonus also. So it's almost like a small group leader ability that you can get without putting him at leader. Now, he's a good leader also. Right now, he's not found anywhere in the game.
No.
So if you're looking for Wedge Antilles, he's not available for you. He was previously, so he's kind of in that Tuscan shaman realm that was going on for months. So this is more for people that already have Wedge. So not really much else to do if you don't have him at this point. Biggs, on the other hand, does have some pretty decent abilities now. He's set up so that with his ally assist ability, if Wedge is on the same team, Wedge is going to automatically be called. So you now have another more than one person assist to go along with the Cody one where you call all clones, and you have the one with Ewoks, with Chirpa, where you can get all the Ewoks, and there's a few others where if you call, like, I think it's the Scoundrel has one. So there's different abilities now where you can actually assist with more than one character. And those can actually be fairly deadly, because you can get a big burst of damage. You don't necessarily need Rey, for example, in order to burst someone down before triggering RG's ability, and those kind of burst damage that you need in order to overcome that. He's also anti-Empire, so his unique ability is included that if he survives any damage for an Empire enemy, or a critical hit, he gains full turn meter. There's not too many full Empire groups, so its ability is kind of limited, mainly if you get hit by RG. But the chance of RG hitting most groups now is fairly rare because most people are running an RG their own in order to do a taunt or a Stormtrooper Han. So his unique isn't quite as useful. It's mainly his special ability with Wedge, and really if you already have Wedge, he becomes more viable.
Yeah.
I'll ask Lampshade now since
we know. Yeah, Baldo.
Yeah, and Baldo. Start with Lampshade and then Baldo. What do you think? I don't personally think he's worth farming right now. He's just an easy 7-star character to get if you need one, but I still don't think he's made too much of a difference in the game.
Lampshade, open this basket up.
Did we lose Lampshade?
I don't know. We'll go with Baldo then. Lampshade is losing his place again.
No, wait, I heard him. Wait, Lampshade, go.
Did he?
Lampshade.
Right. Lampshade, are you going?
Because I am too good at certain things, so.
Go ahead, Baldo. We'll go back to Lampshade if we can ever figure out what's going on with him, yeah.
Okay, let's go then. So it's Baldo here, and my thoughts on the Biggs Darklighter are... Check that, my grammar is too great. I've been drinking a little bit, so maybe you'll hear a little bit of swear words that aren't too intended at the moment. But fuck it.
No, dang it, no,
That
no.
one was intentional. So the Biggs Darklighter, I think that you only farm him in Galactic Wars, so it's not much of a gamble shard wise, but to really invest in him. Credits are a very, very difficult thing at the moment. So credits are lacking, you have to anything you want to promote, anything you want to upgrade mods are an example of that. Anything in that nature, credits, right? So if you're taking a Biggs Darklighter from 1 to 80, and I'm pretty sure that the 90 cap is not too far away. I would personally stay away from Biggs Darklighter. I think he's going to be more or less a ship, have something to do with the ships that are going to be introduced shortly. So I would stay away from him for the time being. They're reworking him. Maybe he'll be really good. I haven't looked too much into him, but I just know how he is at the current time, and I would certainly not invest in him.
No, he's a character. Yeah, he's a character you want to get further down the line. I just happen to farm him. I could promote him right now. I could do some stuff with him. I eventually will, because mods you have to open up. You have to have rebel teams and the Empire event and stuff. So he'll be one that I may, just for that event, go ahead and pump up and get him to where he's respectable. But I'm totally with not wasting a lot on him. Right now I'm not wasting 1 million credits to promote him to 7 stars, nor am I going to level him at all right now.
Right, I would not go out of my way to if you're in Galactic War, definitely why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But you're getting 1,200, you're getting 15 shards a night. So if you're completing Galactic War, if you're not, no problem. Galactic War is a bitch, so. It can be really tough, but 15 shards a night, it only takes 330 shards to finish the character to the max from 0, so.
Did we get Lampshade back yet?
It's gonna take, yes, let's get
Lampshade. I'm here.
Alright, Lampshade, what are your thoughts, man?
Take over.
I never left, brother. Never left.
You got it.
I would definitely say that, looking at some of the characters, I'd say looking at the synergy, totally awesome. Wedge from both the canon and, to be honest, I'm a huge fan of the Legends, where he just becomes a true baller.
General,
baller.
God. Things he does in Legend books is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, sorry, what's that? What?
Well, in the books that are no longer canon, yeah, basically, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. Wedge becomes the leader of Rogue Squadron after Return of the Jedi, and he has very much a illustrious career, and he becomes a brilliant military strategist and pilot, commander of combat let's just leave it at that. If you want to know how badass he is, then you can go read the books.
Long story short, he basically becomes a military genius, and he also is. He's kind of got like a little bit of a spy aspect, where he's just like a kind of the James Bond of the sci-fi world.
So he must be a leader.
But anyways,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they start him off, because he is being introduced in Rebels this season. So I mean, everything he got lost in the shuffle of the Thrawn introduction, but he's a major player and character, and I'm really fascinated to see with Rebels coming up here this fall how they're gonna play him. So, anything else we need to talk about on that subject, or I think we can go on to the next one there, Finn.
I mean, Lampshade really didn't get a hit in.
He did. We'll get him some.
What is his leader ability? Maybe we should mention that.
I think we did already, didn't we? On that already, Finn.
Well, I mean, I can give you the specific. His leader ability is that the rebel allies get 30% offense. They recover 15% of their health and 10% of their turn meter on a critical hit. So he'll work well with the rebel group, with like a Leia, who then gives everybody crit chance up. And then you recover 25% of their max health whenever they defeat an enemy. So it's kind of the opposite of Anakin, where anytime you have a death of a character, these rebels will gain hit points, and Anakin just gains turn meter to deal more damage. So it's a little bit of a counter effect there.
Yep.
Man, Finity's stealing my thunder. I was about to go into the Leia connection, but yeah. Anyway, good to move on. I don't think I have any more thunder in this topic.
The thunder has been thunder. All right, what's next, Finn? Finn, did we lose Finn?
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
No, I don't know what happened to Finn.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
So,
and stay along for the ride, because we have a lot to talk about.
All right.
So next up is something that, well, we're gonna discuss it because it was there, but there really wasn't much to it. EA Jesse answered quote-unquote questions that were put on by the community in the SWGOH forums. Some of the questions were, and there were 3 questions he addressed specifically. One was, when will the next raid come out? And he basically gave an answer basically saying that they're still putting the finishing touches, so there's still no time given. Whether or not there were going to be changes on Galactic War was another question, and he said that there's no immediate plan, so that one was more kind of a negative response. And then the other one, which I think we'll ask Baldo to see what he thinks, and it also, is there are bug fixes that a lot of the community wants. There's a lot of characters that have issues. I know I've put in stuff in the bug forum about Qui-Gon and not getting offense up when he dispels Old Ben, and I got a response on the forums a while ago basically saying they're aware of the issue, but they have no time frame on when they're going to correct it. So
and
now,
what was the issue? Bring that up.
The issue is that Qui-Gon, when he does his humbling blow on Old Ben, doesn't give offense up to the group, even though evasion is being removed. And
that is
now, yes, and they've said that they recognize the problem. So now there's a bunch of other characters that have a whole bunch of issues. I think one of the bigger ones now that everyone is kind of aware of because of raids is Sibo with the stealthing issue. And so EA Jesse came out and basically said CG Cozy Spoon is going and collecting all the different bugs that are being said by the players and basically compiling a list. But the list really is kind of meaningless because there really isn't a time frame on when these things are going to be corrected. And the Qui-Gon thing I posted a long time ago. Right. So what do you think about all the bugs and how they're just collecting it without giving a time frame, Baldo?
Alright, well, I'll hop in here. And Ranger, you can take on. You can go after me if you like, or you can jump on right now. Do you want me to go in?
Go ahead, Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So basically what I think about the bugs are, I think that mods was their kind of like Mickey Mouse fix the bugs. And I'm not trying to be a negative prick about this. I mean, you know, like I am actually like mostly, I have been a lot negative to these devs and everything. recently and always, basically, but basically, I think that mods were like, okay, I'm sick of fixing these characters. Like, I'm sick of hearing about these characters, so you know what? Here are mods. You fix the characters how you like. We'll make money from it. And that's kind of what they've done here. Right or wrong, that's my opinion. But the first guy I think that they're going to rework after, obviously, they just announced Biggs and whatever. Wedge? Biggs and Wedge, right? Biggs and Wedge.
Yeah.
I think that Maul is going to be next. And if Maul isn't next, I mean, it's kind of a... If Maul is ignored for much longer, I think it's a big mistake. Like, you can't really ignore that guy too much longer because a bunch of people pushed a bunch of money into him, man. And even if they bought chromiums, lots of people, like, Darth Maul's a big thing in this universe, especially, like, you know, there's a lot of no-name guys, and it's like, Darth Maul's a name. Darth Maul is a name that people recognize, and you can't just rush him off like he's nothing. And there's a big outcry for getting him buffed up. So I see him being buffed up. I'm happy about the big Darklighter. Am I gonna jump onto it? No. Would I suggest a bunch of people investing into it? Not at the moment. I might say get the shards, just because, you know, especially if you're finishing Galactic War every day, get the shards. But would I say, like, go ahead and put a bunch of credits into them, like a week worth of credits into them? No, I wouldn't do that yet. I would let other people gamble on them first and see how it turns out. And that's what I've always done. I've just because I talk to people, so.
Alright, well, Lance, what are your...
Dengar wise, I was hesitant to do Dengar.
So...
Somebody did get Dengar. Now I'm farming Dengar because he actually turned out to be good. That tenacity down really works well in the grade. And I mean, Biggs, if his rework is similar to Anakin's or something, like obviously not the AoE or anything like that, I'm not referring to, but if his rework is good, well, I mean, would I put 7 million into him? Yeah, hell yeah. If it's similar to Anakin's, and the past reworks have been good. Royal Guard, I mean, Anakin. Those are two things to look at. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And what are your thoughts, Lampshade, on the notes?
Basically, we're talking about how what our thoughts are on the bugs, right?
Yeah.
Well, we can.
Go ahead,
there's
Ben.
a few ways you can go with that, because with the bugs, a lot of times they do reworks in order to fix some of the bugs, and there's always the theory with a lot of people in the community that they try to show you one shiny object in order to distract you from all the other things that are going on. They talk about the bugs and making a list.
You're right about that.
But with the reworks, I mean, that's also part of it. So what do you think, Lampshade?
Yeah, my biggest thing is the reworks are coming so slow. I mean, you've had Anakin, Biggs, Wedge. And the thing that hurts the most is, you know, Wedge is, you know, one of my favorite characters, and yet he's only a pay-to-play character, and he's just really not all that powerful. You know, I was really kind of disappointed with the rework on Anakin. Anakin is, you know, by far, regardless if he's a whiny little crybaby in the movies, he is pretty
relax. Anakin is
bad.
What
Yeah, I mean, he's a bad dude. I mean, for crying out loud, my cat's name is Anakin, and he's a bad ass dude. But
like, I don't know, because he tried to, like, kind of save his family.
Yeah.
So is it that bad? Like, I mean, would you...
Well...
He killed Samuel L. Jackson. He deserves the prize.
Yes.
Right, but think about it this way.
Obviously, you can do it.
Without going down a rabbit hole here, hey, Baldo, before we go down this rabbit hole, but think about it. I mean, how does a whiny kid turn into, like, Darth Vader,
Whiny
right?
kid.
I mean, think about it, dude. Darth Vader. Bad ass. Anyways, moving on. I basically, I think, you know,
Okay, I agree.
the thing that makes me kind of look at these fixes, they're coming too slow, and I, you know, I really understand it's a smaller team, but I think, you know, they need to really reprioritize what they're doing. And, you know, if they've got a character that, you know, they think is, you know, down and it's just not powerful and the community's not liking, I think they need to go after the bugs first, man. I think they need to fix what's broken before trying to improve on a character that, you know, it's already subpar. You know, sure, they're not going to make a ton of bank off people going after Wedge because it's not totally powerful. But if you have Tebow, people may be spending more money just trying to get, you know, their shards up so they can keep grinding Tebow out. Or,
Right.
you know, I think that's a bigger thing to focus on is going after those bug fixes because, you know, Anakin did nothing for me. Wedge, nothing for me.
All right, go ahead and finish up, Baldo.
I do agree with you on most points. I mean, they should have done it all right the first time. Like, everything should have been thought of long term. But, you know, well, that just didn't happen. And simply, if they're going to fix characters the right way now, while they're doing it, then hats off to them, in my opinion. Anakin is really good. RG is obviously really good. You see him on like 95% of arena teams. That's not obviously exact numbers, just approximate. But you see him on every arena team. I mean, you would never see him on an arena team before. So, I mean, the reworks they're doing are good. I don't know why they brought up Sidious in the
Well, it's because they liked his ability. They liked the sadistic
I
Lee
know,
ability.
it was kind of a joke.
Yeah, it was to just go towards PR, towards the players that aren't playing. But then there are the players that have been playing and getting frustrated. And lately, the biggest frustration has been the mods. And we've talked about mods for quite a while, so we're not going to go too much into the discussion there. But this last week, they introduced the mod appreciation event, which, by the way, really wasn't an event. You have
It
the
wasn't
event
that good.
game.
No,
It wasn't that kind of event. Yeah, no, they call it an event. It was really just more of a mod appreciation weekend. And during that time, they gave everybody 350,000 coins and
Multiple, like 3 days in a row, I believe, right?
yeah, for 3 days, you got 350,000 credits. I didn't mean coins. 350,000 credits. You got free unequipping of your mods. I'll start with Ranger. What did you think about the event? Did it make up for some, all, none of all the issues that they had before? What do you think?
I think it was. I mean, honestly, I thought it was kind of a slap in the face, to be honest. That the reason I say that is because, you know, we had all these people. We had all these people spending all this money, you know, on mods. We had the whole mod fiasco, right? We've already covered that in other streams. And then they're like, well, you know, spend money on mods. I mean, the bad part was just the money, because we all know that the credit crunch is real, you know, and 350K is chump change. I mean, you know, they did allow you to remove mods and play around with them a little bit. And they did the thing where, you know, you could proc. They worked on the proc where you could, you know, if you got lucky with the roll, you know, you had a chance to get something for it. Problem is, you had to go farm the mods. Again, it doesn't address the issue. You need to get characters to go do the mod battles to go get the mods that you need, right? Everybody can get health mods if you've done it right. I mean, it gives you that opportunity. Now, I've been able to get the Jedi event done, and I'm working on these other ones. But that still doesn't address the issue of getting mods. And it's the people that had a ton of mods beforehand still have an advantage, in my opinion, over the people that did not have that opportunity. And I think that's something that they vastly need to address. Now, was this a step in the right direction? Yeah. Was it even close to being what they needed to do? No. Because they still have a lot more to close that gap between the people that were able to ascertain a ton of mods as compared to the people that were not able to get that many mods at the beginning, and it's created a little bit of a have and haves nots, you know. And so, I mean, people coming up that are trying to get mods and characters, you know, I think it was not enough. I don't think it even comes close to addressing the problem. I mean, a million credits basically, and some other stuff. I mean, I don't know, Finn. What do you think?
I mean, I kind of agree with you. The million credits was nice. It doesn't make up for all the credits that people spent in order to upgrade a mod that they thought was one thing and ended up being changed to another. I really wish that they would have just, and maybe not everybody agrees with this, but my thought would have been kind of what they did with the raid mods when they did that, which is make all the mods back to level 1, give back a refund on all the credits that was spent on it,
and crystals,
de-equip everybody, and then just let everybody go from there. Pick your mods again, put everything in, because they really did change the way the system worked when they changed the mods. Some things are more overpowered than others, and it seems like they didn't really take that into consideration.
Yeah. Lampshade?
Yeah, like, my thought on the event was, you know, I think it was a step in the right direction.
Oh, an event! Sorry. I gotta get on.
No, I was just saying that I think it was a good reach out. Again, it wasn't an event, but, you know, it didn't hurt to have, you know, the 350 credits per day. One thing that I would have said that would have been nice is if they had made the mod exchange a week long. So that way, when I'm in the week actually doing raids and whatnot, I could play with some of the different modifications and try out a couple different things that I typically wouldn't do on a weekend, since, you know, I don't participate on the weekend for raids, just because, you know, most of our guild is pretty busy over the weekends. They got family stuff to do, and that's just not our priority. So it was kind of neat where I could place it around, but I couldn't really test it. PW, you know, I know some people are complaining about it, but to me it's still kind of not a joke, but it's not hard. I don't find it a challenge. It just takes a little bit more time than normal. But I can't really test out my mods there all that great. And then PvP, you know, if I take a shot with something different and lower risk, you know, I don't really want to be paying more crystals than I need to for PvP refresh. So I would have loved if it had gone throughout the week, but that's pretty much my only beef with it.
So the next thing is an issue that's been going on in the community for a little bit of time since they changed the timers on when guild bank coins are being collected. So previously it was set to where whenever your personal timer, your personal reset happened, so that was always at everyone's 1 a.m., whatever energy you collected in the last 24 hours would then be set to the guild bank. What they changed recently was that it's based on the guild timer now, and since then there have been numerous guilds and people that haven't been getting the right number of coins. And it's been an ongoing problem. They keep on throwing 100,000 guild bank coins every now and then whenever they come up with issues, but they never seem to fix it. So let me start with Lampshade, because he's the Mighty Sai guild leader here. What do you think about the guild bank problems?
Man, oh man, have we had a bust off for that one? Man, I'll have to tell you, it's a great idea that was poorly thought through. You know, one of the things that, you know, got me was, you know, every 3 seconds, you know, we log in and we're like, oh crap, we got a log, we got to start a raid. And it was just like no time to think, and, you know, everybody's trying to get organized, everybody's trying to get going. It was just too chaotic. I can only imagine what a less organized guild had to go through just to be managed for all that stuff. I guarantee you a ton of guild coins were lost. But, you know, I think it's a good idea, bad premise, and I think the biggest thing that they need to stop, they absolutely have to stop sending stuff out without telling you. They need to say, especially like a guild leader, like if there was a notification that came up that, hey, by the way, this is about to happen on your next login.
Hey, you're hot micing, Baldo. Thank you. Go ahead, Lampshade.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, like if I had known, you know, let's say I log in, it identifies me as a leader and goes, hey, by the way, your next login, you're going to have an additional 70,000, you know, coins being dropped into your guild bank. I can get on Discord or in the chat and say, hey guys, FYI, this is going to happen the next time I log in. So let's get a plan in place. But I log in, do my normals, and all of a sudden we're like, holy smokes, where did all this come from? So, good idea, terrible placement. They just got to get better about communicating. They can totally do it, and I'm feeling like they're just dropping the ball. Small team, but communication shouldn't suffer because of it.
I agree. Finn?
I agree. I can't figure out why. The Guild Bank coin issue really wasn't a big deal to begin with. It was their own fault for not capping it earlier. I don't know why they needed to change the reset timer. Then they're only causing problems for themselves because that aspect was actually working. And then they decided to go ahead and change the timer, and now they're not collecting properly, and people are getting gypped coins, so then they have to give more coins again. I don't understand why they keep on changing things that aren't fixed and don't fix the things that need fixing to begin with. What do you think, Ranger?
I'm agreeing with you guys. I mean, a strange thing to be implementing, but... what's the next subject there, Mr. Finn? I think we lost Finn. Or did we lose me?
No, I'm here.
Okay, what's the next thing?
So, the next topic is going to be Wicket. Wicket is someone that was introduced into the celebration because, well, he wasn't actually introduced in the celebration. So behind John Solera was a video that was running showing different characters of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for the people that were there. And one of the images that they had was Wicket. And it really wasn't a Wicket. It was Chirpa. And it was a Wicket image, it had the Wicket title, and yet all the abilities were Chirpa. So we decided to go ahead and try and figure out, okay, if we were to make Wicket, how would we go ahead and design Wicket? So now, instead of waiting for the designers of the game to come up and the devs to come up with the characters, we decided, you know what, let's try and save them time and do it ourselves. So, this is what we kind of came up with. If you guys are looking on the screen, we have 4 different abilities with it. They're all kind of based on different things that we saw with Wicket in the different movies and the different canon. The first one is Halting Spear. So this is kind of based on when the initial meeting between Wicket and Leia happened, where Wicket just kind of put his little pointy stick towards Leia. Leia kind of halted in her tracks and then stopped, tried to figure out what this little teddy bear was trying to get done. So Halting Spear has a 50% chance to inflict speed down, and this effect also has a 25% chance to stun any enemy suffering negative effects. So that was going to be his basic ability. He has a special ability that does 7,000 damage on average, which is on the upper end of special damage. You'll see that it does have, to kind of go along with the Anakin theme, where he had a chance to kind of put the expose on himself. Wicket has a 10% chance to become stunned while attacking. This is based on when he was swinging around that rock on a stick, which is a bolus. So the ability is then aptly named Makeshift Bolus. So you have a chance to deal physical damage to an enemy and a 10% chance to stun yourself in the process. So it's a little bit of a trade-off there.
Cool. And what you've done with the Wicket abilities, I think that's really cool. I think that, honestly, those work. I think that if a dev watches this, it saves them time. That's worth it.
Hey,
Like,
if they run with this, then you heard it here, Real Sith of Genius first. We will take credit like we take credit for all the other stuff that we did not do, but did do, but did not do, but still did.
And we'll beta test it too.
Yes.
I think that that's actually really cool about all of them. All of those abilities are really cool, and I think they work. They work. They're not unreasonable. They're on par with everything.
And it's an Ewok Rebel synergy.
Yes.
I like Ewok Rebel synergy.
Well,
Which is cool.
well, I was shot down because when we were doing this, I wanted to add the Bill Cosby jello pudding shaft, and Finity was like, no. I was like, It's because what you do is when you hit the ability, the Bill Cosby comes down, and he uses his Jello pudding pop like a lightsaber, and he sticks it in the backside of the person, and the Ewoks get all so happy. And he was like, "No, you can't do that."
Enemy female characters already start with exposed.
What's that then?
I was gonna say enemy female characters. Bill Cosby's effect automatically exposes all female enemy characters.
They get a 15 minus to their health, and they become delusional.
Okay, what's next, guys?
So that's just. What do you think, Lampshade, about the Ewok that we have?
Minus the Bill Cosby.
Yes, Bill Cosby is not an Ewok. Thank God.
I really like it. I think it's a really great concept. I think, personally, I think he needs I think he holds some potential. I think you need, what is it? What planet are they on for that? Endor moon? No,
Yes, Endor.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's right. Say it's Endor. Nah.
you need Endor Leia, and you need Endor Luke, and you get some synergy there. And if Leia gets trapped or stunned, he gets a special ability and buffs up.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like that he gives also a negative stats effect to himself. I'm liking those, and I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, just get a little bit of movie tie-ins with little Wicket.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool stuff.
And I wanted.
So I like what you've done with them. I really do like what you've done with them. And if they took this into consideration, I think that works. All of the abilities, because I read them, I saw them. I'm not looking at YouTube right now, so I don't know if you have them up, but I read them prior to this, and they do work. So if they actually implemented something like this, that would be really good.
And it would make us happy, because then we can try and take credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, personally, didn't you? I don't know if you know this, Baldo, but anything Finity says on the show actually happens. So it's minus the whole theory on the data card. Everything else happens. Everything.
Well,
Everything.
I did say that whole data card thing, I was a crackpot theory. It was an out there thing that I intentionally did it.
Finity.
I like my raid idea.
Hey, no. Finity, just because you wear foil on your head during this task doesn't say anything less about you as a gamer.
Yes, it does.
It's a good thing.
I mean, does he actually wear tinfoil on his head?
I will neither confirm nor deny that accusation.
Because that actually would say something less so.
Well, it's not tinfoil. It's more like kind of like in a crane shape. But it's
Okay,
aluminum
let's
still.
get to your full.
Yeah, but it's heavy duty Reynolds aluminum foil. You got to get the heavy duty stuff if you're doing that.
Okay, definitely wear that on your head. That does, guys.
Yeah.
That's basically the cedar of life. So. You need
Yeah.
to wear. Is it a snapback at least?
It's custom fitted to my head. But we're getting on a little detour here. All right. So that basically goes through all of the stuff we were planning on discussing. We do have some questions. So
Let's get into them.
go ahead and bring in some people.
Yeah, let me.
So we have
Let's see,
some
we got-
questions.
Wait, hold on a second. We got Grande Patron, the bearded one. I'm bringing him in. Hold on.
All right.
One and only.
Here he is, the great one, the great bearded one himself, Grande Patron.
I made it.
Oh my God.
Welcome, Grande.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for all of that. Appreciate it. You guys are doing some pretty cool stuff here. Talking about ye old Wicket. Could be cool. Could be way cool.
You ready to help us answer some questions, Grande?
Absolutely. I think I entered one of my own questions in there. You know, it takes I'm an old man. The reason why I'm late to the stream is, old men gotta pee. And so, I should have been here 57. I should have been here 57 minutes ago. But instead said I wasn't here 57.
Well, that's why they.
Have an old piss on there.
Well, that's why they make Cialis.
Well, I'm great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Nothing to do with pissing.
Oh, yes, it is.
And here I thought it all
Regardless.
just depends.
Ba-dum-bum.
What are the questions?
What do we got first there, Mighty Finn?
So we have Swifters, who's a Mighty Sai guild.
Oh, wait, is he?
Question
Yes.
about raid reward.
Go for it, buddy.
Shout out to Alaska.
Go ahead, Swifters.
Can I open this up?
No.
I mean, I kind of have.
Hold on, Baldo.
have the most raid.
Hold on,
Well,
Baldo.
you can answer. Let Swifter answer his question, though. Ask
Yes,
the question.
yeah, go ahead, Switzer.
So, are you guys happy with how the raid distribution rewards are occurring to each of you individually?
No, I think it's unbalanced. I think it's completely unfair. I think that the only thing that should differ this much in the raid is maybe the Haunt shards. You know, like, I think that you should all have a chance to use like stun cuffs and all this shit. You should have and it's kind of weird. They're also weird, these raid rewards. The only real thing that differs to a real extent is the credits and the currency in guild. The guild currency, which you can spend in the shop, guild shop. Other than that, it's not that different. I mean, yes,
So,
like,
Go ahead,
So I
Grande.
guess in regards
Or Swifter,
to
who's
the question is, are you seeing people get tons of really bad RNG? As in my case, I think I'm on 3 weeks straight rewards of
are you
scanners.
finishing really high?
Yeah, I usually,
Really high?
usually finish anywhere, depending if I can do phase 1 because of our times. So sometimes I do phase 1, but usually somewhere in between top 10, top 15 at the worst.
Well, I can add a little background to this also. Swifters, for the past few weeks, has been getting nothing but scanners. I've been getting basically nothing but furnaces. I think we would be happy to switch with each other, but I think one of the issues, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Swifters, one of the things you're trying to figure out is whether or not all this randomness towards getting the raid rewards is really something that's beneficial, right?
Yeah,
And
basically. It's, like almost all MMOs start out life with random loot drop pieces. And then you get people upset with really bad RNG.
Hey Swifters, how's Alaska treating you, man? Before I get into your question.
Oh, it's shitty these last 2 days. It's been nonstop rain.
Man, I'll tell you what. Your weather may have been shitty, but you are totally a rock star. Keep it up. But in regards to what you're saying, man, I think you bring up a really solid point. I think that they try to fix that with, some of the exchange that they got going on. But man, it was neat, it was cool, but the idea I feel is flawed, dude. Considering that you get this exchange and you can only do it once every 24 hours, I'm sitting on over 200 items of certain drops that do me no good. And I'd be more than happy to give more than just 1 or 2 to somebody. Like, let's say Padme asks for, 1 or 2 scanners. Heck, I'll drop 30 on her to help get her up to par. And if you make a baller point when you're talking about, MMOs, let's talk about the biggest one of them all. Debatable, but wow. I mean, they have all kinds of ways to dispense the loot amongst the guild to ways to bring up the people who don't get the greatest stuff. If you're, one of the top people in the loot or the raid, and you keep getting the greatest gear, it's sure you can sell it or whatever, but even now they don't have a way to sell this gear. They took that away, but I think, it's a valid concern, and I would as far as complain or having my opinion on it, my only solution is open up the guild exchange a bit more. I would be open to test it more than 1 request every 24 hours, or allow people to have a slider on how much they want to donate to somebody. Let us help our guild get better, because I understand a leaderboard of a guild, but it really doesn't, do anything for any guild. So let us help each other out who are in a guild. Because I feel terrible when I see the guys who are in the 40 and below. They've been there for forever and they work super hard. They always contribute, and I want to make sure that they're a part of it. But anyways, I think it's a great question. I think there's a lot of solutions open out there for it.
That is awesome.
That's a great idea. What you just said.
Go ahead, Grande. What do you think about the raid reward system?
So, if you'll notice, we used to have a lot of RNG in the shipments. Do you remember that? And then and we also used to only get furnaces, and then they decided to rotate it. To rotate it around, where sometimes you got furnaces in shipments, sometimes you got scanners, sometimes you got Nubian tech design, and sometimes you got droid colors. That seemed a little bit. Yeah, that's right. And that seemed a little bit more fair, I guess. And I think that we're probably going to end up with something like that happening in the new raid. There's going to be something where there's some kind of consistency. It may still be random, but at least it's like, okay, for this period of time you're going to get this type, and for this period of time you're going to get this type. So at least the RNG is not totally random. I could use a heck of a lot of scanners. There are some guys in my guild who are begging for furnaces, to the point whenever they ask for them in the guild exchange, I just give it to them every time, because I have so many I don't know what to do with them, and they're tickled pink to get them, and so I feel like that the next raid will be different in what it is that we're getting, and it will be more equalized somehow.
Right, I like that. I like that, Grande, and I think you're right there. But the next raid, I think your rewards are gonna be hard too. And he could be a cool character, but I also think that the next raid is also, it's not gonna be balanced. See, in my opinion, what they have going on currently is, although they actually lost a lot of players recently with these mods updates, but in the next raid, and I mean, I've done more raids, the majority of players in this game, but I think that the next raid is not going to differ too much from this raid, other than the characters that you face in this. And I don't think that Han is going to be there. I hope not. I think that it's going to be R2D2 as a reward. I also think that the rewards will still be unbalanced, and they have unbalanced rewards for a reason. The unbalanced rewards come in because it's like, okay, how do I get to the top position? Well, I spend money. That's how they think.
And to go with what you were saying earlier, Swifters, when you mentioned the MMO aspect to it, so I'm going to refer a little bit back to World of Warcraft when I used to play it. When it first came out and you had like Molten Core and you had Blackwing Lair, for those of you that used to play, this might start bringing back bad memories here. The drops of all the bosses and stuff were all kind of random. You had your own little systems, usually with some kind of like DKP system in order to figure out who got what drop and all that kind of nonsense. They figured out quickly that that system really just caused more problems than anything. You asked a lot of guilds to do their own thing. And in the later raids, they then started to drop these token items, where then everybody in the raid got a token. And then they could go to a shop later and cash it in for whatever it is they wanted. So there's more with that with WoW, because you had all the different areas, so you could get a token for like the helm, you could have a token for the chest piece and all that. I think they might go to a token reward system to prevent kind of what you and I were facing with the scanners and the furnaces, at least I'm hoping, where you get a token, you might get a token in order to get a full piece, you might get like a, I don't know what they'll call it, like a 3/4 token or something in order to get a partial piece, and then you can pick your raid reward items. I think it'll probably be more mod oriented with the new raid, not raid gear. So you could pick the set
I would agree with that
mod that you would want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. And I'm actually with you on that thing. I think that there are going to be mod rewards in the newer raid, especially since they had them in this raid, and that they like cut them out so quickly. It's like, okay, well, why were they in this raid to begin with? They probably wanted to release it in the new raid that's coming out, and that's going to be cool.
And we have one other question from inside this while we were streaming today, from a name that I happen to love now, Trollstein.
Very nice.
Trollstein. He was asking a question. I think a lot of us can answer here because we already have it. He wanted to know what characters you should farm in order to get Yoda.
Great question.
That's a good question.
I'll let you start with that one, Grande. Go ahead, Grande. I'll let you start with that one.
Oh, okay, so I think we probably want to start with the characters that are the easiest.
Before getting into that, I would actually ask him what level he is.
Well, the characters will probably be the same because there's certain characters. So
Yeah, let's get into the. Yeah, go ahead, Grande.
Like level 60 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but go ahead, Grande.
So if you wanted to start out probably the simplest way, it would be to start out with Luminara and GW.
Yep.
And then after you went from Luminara and GW, I would probably look at, let's go over to one of the first characters that you get in the game, as one of our good friends Merlin used to say, the Jedi Autotaunt, which is Jedi Consular. You could get him in hard nodes, and you can also get him in the Cantina nodes as well. And then I would look at, while we're talking about Cantina, one of the greatest characters that is really good at in game right now is Qui-Gon Jinn from the Cantina shipments. So we've got 3 there. Now we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision is what do we do? Do you spend your PvP energy and get ETH Koth? If you spend that energy and you get ETH Koth, you're getting a character almost strictly, at least at this point. Potentially he could be good in the raid against droids, but we are getting a character that right now in the game is only really good for the Yoda event in ETH Koth. And it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of credits, it's a lot of gear to get ETH Koth, and it's a valuable resource. So if you weren't going to go the ETH Koth route, then I would potentially look at a couple of other different characters. I would potentially look at Barriss from Cantina shipments, from Cantina hard nodes, from Cantina nodes. I would look at, getting a character like I'm a Gundy out of the guild shipments, potentially. Or I would look at, after you finish off Qui-Gon Jinn, going for Ahsoka. So that would be my choice. The way I did the Yoda event was I went Qui-Gon Jinn, I went ETH Koth, I went Luminara, I went Jedi Consular, and then I went back and got Ahsoka. And that's how I did it, and I was able to do it back before it got nerfed, and that route worked for me. So Luminara, Qui-Gon Jinn. Okay, we'll see ya. Luminara, Qui-Gon Jinn, Jedi Consular, Ahsoka, and ETH Koth.
There you go.
That would probably be the easiest way to do it. Depending on if there are some ways to do it now where if they're a little bit higher level, you can farm for Anakin. If you've been logging in every day this month, you can also get Anakin charge that way. That would be a potentially great way to do it as well.
Yep.
Okay. Before I gotta go because I have to actually travel to Toronto right now.
Okay.
I'm in Hampton, so I'm just like an hour and a half. So, but quickly before I jump into this, Grande, yes, that's definitely the simplest way. Grande is right, but in my opinion, if you want to do this Yoda thing and you have not gotten them, you definitely, in my opinion, you want to farm characters that are actually gonna do you well later on in the game. So like Grande mentioned, Qui-Gon Jinn is definitely a good option. You definitely want that guy because he is even on my list. He's a top 5 character of my roster. And I would say to do the Yoda event, I don't know. I can't do the Yoda event, obviously. I did it at level 90. when it was level 90 and I was level 70. So it took me 8 straight hours to finish. I did it with Mickey Mouse characters, which are JC, Lumi, Koth, Qui-Gon Jinn. I didn't have Anakin at the time. I had him 6-star or something. I could not do it with him. Ahsoka, I think I did it with, and I would avoid these characters kind of that Grande brought up for this. I would say if you're, and no offense, Grande, like you actually made some good points. That is the simplest way to get them, but I would say go for an Ayla, go for an Anakin, go for if you're that adamant about getting Yoda, definitely go for like an Ayla, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin. Ayla's the 5th node in Cantina, so most of the viewers here would definitely be having her at the moment, or would be able to start farming her, and she's great. So I would say Ayla, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin, Lumi, like Grande said. JC I would avoid because it's just a lot of credits to invest in a guy that you may not have invested into already. If you're close, if your really main focus is Yoda and you're close to finishing JC, well, why not? Why not? But if you're just starting out, avoid them. You want like Qui-Gon Jinn, Ayla, Anakin, Lumi, and maybe an Armagundi, like Grande said. So, assuming you farmed Ray and the Guild Shop. And I gotta run, guys.
Alright.
See you, Baldo.
Happy trails, Baldo.
Alright, and to all my viewers, if you're watching this stream right now, definitely sub to Real Super Genius. I'll be on here for future streams, and I gotta go though. I just gotta go.
All right, brother.
I gotta travel south. I gotta get to Toronto, man. So, all right then, Grande, Ranger. Thanks a lot for having me on the stream. And all right.
Yes, again.
I love that. Just ignore the link.
All right. Peace, guys.
Apparently, I'm not on.
All right. Was there any other questions?
We have one other question from Goldberger.
Sure.
On mods that you would put on Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay.
I'll let Lenche take this one because he didn't get a chance with the other one. Sure. What kind of mods would you put on Qui-Gon?
Man, it's a tough one. For the free-to-play player, it is. I have to say it's gonna be straight up hell, but you've got to be really cautious. You got to really look at a lot of what each of these mods are giving you, because the better grade A, B, C, all the way down, it gives you a little bit more of a preview. Who has the potency, who has the speed, and with Qui-Gon Jinn, potency and speed are going to be huge for this guy. So for the free-to-play player, I would start working on what they have. They already have the ability to get into the final 3-star event for just allowing anyone in. So work on those health mods. I mean, even at the top where the meta is, I'm fighting with everybody who's really focusing in on the health mods. I know that sounds so cliche. That's what everybody's doing. But hey, right now you can't go wrong, but you got to be smart when doing it. You can't just get 4-star or 5-star health mods and just place them on Qui-Gon Jinn. You got to look for speed and you got to look for potency. You're going to get that health benefit if you actually get the two sets. I haven't seen Infinity or Grand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you guys seen a 4-set health by chance?
A 4-set? What do you mean by a 4-set health?
Like you have to have a set of 4 health to get the combo benefit.
No, health is all 2.
Health is all 2, so you can get 3 health benefits. The only 2 that I know of that are there's a few that are 4. Let's look at them. We got to rip.
Yeah, I've got it up.
I think offhand it's critical damage,
Yep.
it's speed, and offense, I think.
Yes, you, of course, Finity had it correct.
Of course. But with that, for the guys who are not free to play or those who are really stocked up, let's take a Ranger or a Affinity who have really been on point, and you guys are right on point, you're free to play, and you're looking to beat him up. Well, if you've gotten the characters that allow you to get, a 3-star where you're getting the 5 mods for speed or potency, that's a huge win. But you got to be careful too, because not all of those mods have the benefit of speed or potency. You have to be careful and look at them. You can't just assume, oh, well, I took a set of 2, so I'm going to get that benefit, or a set of 4, and I'm going to get that benefit. No. Look to make sure you get that actual benefit within the additional A-star benefits. And if you don't know what it is, you can always pay a little extra to find out once it becomes level 12. It'll tell you all 4 of the specs that it will bonus you out at. But that's my thought on that.
Nice.
All right, that's it for the questions.
So Qui-Gon.
I posted a question.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Let's look. What did he put up there? I gotta go find it. I remember old Grande. Well, Grande, just since you're in the stream, make me do all that work. What is your question?
Okay, so here's my question, and it's one I've asked a whole bunch of times. There's only one team that I cannot beat in Arena, and the team that I have real trouble with, is a maxed out HK47 lead, IG88, IG86, B2, and Jawa Engineer. And I have tried a bunch of different comps, and the team I really would like to beat it with is either a Phasma lead or a Dooku lead. I figured out that Dooku is a really bad choice because of the turn meter that B2 gets with the counter from Dooku, so that's not the best choice. But I want to beat it with a Dooku or Phasma, Qui-Gon Jinn, Rey, Geonosian Soldier, and Royal Guard. And so I'm obviously doing something wrong, and multiple people have tried to explain to me what it is I'm doing wrong.
Well, who do you attack first?
So normally how I attack is we're trying to stun IG88, and then we're trying to get Jawa Engineer off the table. Either Jawa Engineer or B2 off the table.
You have to kill Jawa Engineer first.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got
all focus is on him. Right. Then now, the first thing I do with that team too is on my Royal Guard, I don't try to stun. I do his defense up so it mitigates the damage that they're putting out, because that's one ability that people that I've done time and time. I don't have a problem with that team. I always go first thing with Royal Guard is reduce their damage. Now, once on his first turn, other than that, I'm focusing heavily on Jawa Engineer, mainly because he can res those turds when they die too. If I'm correct, yeah, I am correct on that. But yes. Kill him first. You have your defense up, then start focusing. Focusing on the heavy hitters. IG88, yeah, he may ability block you, but you can still hit hard as long as you get taunt up with a Royal Guard. You'll be okay. HK47 is going to throw his thing out too, but if you're mitigating the damage, that's when you can sit there and just start picking them apart. And if you do it right, yeah, you may lose a couple guys in the process, but with Rey, using her first foresight the first turn up, use her double attack, that's going to miss her, and then she's gets because of the dodge, she's going to get attack bonus up. Then you can just start wailing on one, they're out of the game. So you've killed Jawa Engineer, you've killed another one, you save Qui-Gon's thing for when B2 taunts, if he does, just like any other taunter, and then just start pick them apart. B2 should be the last one you kill, and just kill all the other ones, and then finish off B2.
Ooh, I'm chomping at the bit for this one. You guys are
please.
Right on par. Have you guys seen any of the videos for Papa Breezy?
I have not. I
have Papa Breezy. I know he does a bunch of. He's a big droid guy, so he's got maxed out droids.
Yep, I got a Papa Breezy and I are on the same server. So he and I have been working on all kinds of theories on how to take him down, because he's been the bane of my existence for a while. But we're good friends, so hey, big shout out to Papa Breezy and the huge ass team. But he also has Grievous on his team. He's about to get him up to 7-star, but they're making a huge point. I'm not going to say anything they didn't already say. I just wanted to make sure that Papa got some props because what a great team, all droid team.
Oh, if you do them right, they're a great team. Listen, like the team I'm running, that I'm going to be running here with Han once I finish him up tonight, with Han and Anakin lead, Han, Royal Guard, Leia, and then Rey. That's going to be the team I'm going to be running. But the team I'm running right now, and I don't know where I'm at right now, rank. I'm still number 4. I was 1 earlier. But the team that I'm running is Dooku, Rey, Phasma, Royal Guard, and Qui-Gon. You just have to understand how to use the abilities of the characters when you're facing a team. As soon as I see a team composition, and I think this is something that's really valuable for people that PvP, understand how the AI is going to work, and then, because they're going to do certain attacks to start off with. Sometimes you don't know who they're going to attack, but you know they're going to do certain things, and then understand what they do. I've seen people, I've seen this before, people go after Han. Do not go after Han. And you save Qui-Gon's taunt ability and just leave him alone and kill him last. Right? You saw, and if you go back and look at the GW I did didn't mess with Han. I saved any taunt removal for that when that taunt came up. You just have to understand, because when you're hitting Han, you're giving their heavy hitters turn meter. Every time you hit them, they're getting turn meter, and that's how it's going to get you smoked. Right? So again, understanding what each character does and who you should attack in order is something you just have to get proficient in, right? Understand the abilities. If I got Dooku and I say Jedi, Dooku's only focus is on Jedi. If I say Old Ben, stun. If I don't see Old Ben and I say Qui-Gon, Dooku's eating Qui-Gon for lunch all day, and I'll attack somebody else with my other players. So you just have to understand and have a strategy and use the same strategy. Now, it may not always work, because RNG, let's face it, RNG can get you at any time. But you still have to be adaptable and understand, okay, well, that didn't work, but I know what I can do now. You know, you may not win, but you'll win 95% of the time, okay? But that's a key component of that you really have to understand. And I went off a little tangent there.
No, it's cool. Like I said, you know, I could annihilate every other team on my server except for this team, and you know, I think it has a lot to do with stun. I think it has a lot to do with turn meter manipulation on B2. I think it has a lot to do with negative status effects that you get from both B2 and from IG88, and so that's why it's been a challenge for me. And before mods it was not a challenge. After mods, it was a much harder challenge. I could probably beat this team 50% of the time before mods. After mods, I bet I'm down to 1 in 10.
Right.
And that's really you know, it's a puzzle that I'm trying to figure out, because it's completely different than what it was like before. And I like the puzzle, just trying to figure it out. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just, you know, you just have to be able to look at a team and say, okay, what's my strategy here? Like I'm looking at one now. They've got Sunfac, Leia, First Order Stormtrooper, Fives, and my game started spinning, and then I'm a Gundy lead. So when I face this team, and I beat this team a lot, first person I go for is I'm a Gundy. I ain't messing with Fives, and I ain't messing with First Order, and I ain't messing with Sunfac. I'm just going to keep hitting Gundy till he's down. By that time, Leia should pop up, then I'm going to kill Leia. Then, by that time, I've got 3 just counterattackers. Still have Royal Guard up, and then I just start picking one off at a time. You know, if you're going to sit there and try to beat Sunfac before you knock out his Leia or I'm a Gundy, you're going to lose. You can't do it. You know, let Sunfac taunt. Okay, Qui-Gon, go knock that out. Good, great. Now I can go and attack these 2, finish them off. And then once that's done, go kill First Order Stormtrooper, then go kill Sunfac, then go kill Fives. You know, you have to be smart about how you prioritize and understand who you're going to attack in any given team. And I think that's a thing that a lot of players don't understand. Like, how do you get to the... Like, if you look at the power that... compare power like that I have. I'm at 37,499. If you look at these other guys, they're way ahead of me on power and stuff. But I'm still in the top 4, and I usually finish 1. Why? Because I understand the strategy. It's not about the characters you have, it's using them to their best effect. And this has been The More You Know. Do 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 do.
I like it a lot.
Finity, what are your thoughts on what we're talking about?
I mean, I usually, because it's mainly a burst damage team, I beat it with like a little bit more of a C team. So I've actually switched to a Qui-Gon lead, Yoda, Rey, RG, and Phasma. And usually because of Victory March, I can get in my second round before their second round. So it's all about surviving that first round. The weakness in the team tends to be, and I've also beat it with an old Ben lead. I don't really care about B2 too much. He does get a lot of turn meter, but he's not a lot of damage, and you can use RG to kind of stun him as a counter. But even besides that, the weakness in the team right now is that there's no taunt. They now
that
have
is correct.
Nebbit. When they start bringing up Nebbit, and you're going to have HK, 86, 88, Nebbit, and Engineer, I think that's going to start to bring a whole new list of issues with beating that team. I'm not looking forward to facing that team, but with the current setup, I usually just beat it with a Qui-Gon lead speed team.
Oh, but
interesting.
I gotta say, I think your answer, Grant, you need to build the all Java team. That's your answer right there.
The all Jawa team. There we go.
God.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, you get, and I know you guys touched on this before I got on about mods. You know, the challenge is that mods add a whole nother level of gearing that you have to get, and if you only have a limited amount of 5-star mods, you know, you're putting them on, you know, you have to prioritize them. So, you know, the priorities that I've made are, I'm going to do it on my main, you know, PvP team that works well,
Right.
for me in every other scenario, and then I'm going to do it on my main, you know, raid team, and that's what I'm going to focus on first, because those are my two main paydays, and I'll just leapfrog those guys for the moment until I figure out a better way to do it.
Yeah, so I can. That's a great point, Grundy, and we did cover this in the mod episode we did. One of two, unfortunately, because it was such a big deal, but we did it. One of the priorities that I had was, okay, what do I need mods for? All right? And Finn's kind of have the same mindset. PvP, like you said, raid characters, right? GW. What do you need to complete those three things every day and be successful, right? So if you look at the people I have at 80, pretty much what I use for GW, PvP, and raid. Now I'm starting to expand my roster. I'm about to have 5s done, you know, and there's a bunch of other stuff here I could open, but I'm not yet because I'm doing one character at a time. But you have to focus in on, get the characters, then gear them, then get the mods. But do it in a particular order. You know, don't get haphazard and helter-skelter all over the place. You know, if you're working on Qui-Gon, work on Qui-Gon the whole way. You know? I mean, get him max geared, get him max omega, get him mods, and then you work on the next character. I know it's a pain in the ass, and it's really, as I said before, this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and you really got to be patient. I mean, unless you're well and you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I refuse to do, but it can be done. You just have to be patient and, you know, prioritize those characters that you need. Finn, am I off base there, or do you agree with that?
No, and I think Grande is of the same mindset, because I remember hearing it from him first. Like, you focus on a character and take it all the way. Don't stop in the middle. You just screw up everything.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one thing to add, Ranger.
Is it dishes? Because if it is, I swear I will slap you silly.
I swear it's not dishes, and I'm not drunk. But I think I'm going to leave us out with a little bit of a hook for possibly next episode.
Oh.
So will the all Jawa team be the meta team for the next raid? Will they survive? Will they make it? Will they just be too weak to put up a fight? Find out next time. Or
I'm spoiling it. No.
He even used his radio voice and everything. I was pretty excited.
I know, that just made it all the better to ruin it.
Why do I have to be that guy? Even Baldo puts me down.
Well,
You will never outlive the dishes.
I don't put you down.
Yeah, well, but
Today.
God.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll rise above it all.
We love you, Lampshade. We just give you a hard time. So, is there any other questions or anything we want to discuss? Anything on your mind, Grande?
I'm just excited, to see, kind of some of the new stuff coming out. I'm excited to see this new raid. Excited to see, kind of what that's going to do. Excited to see some of these new characters, and kind of what Lampshade was saying about, are the Jawas going to be good, or are they going to be unique in an interesting way, like a Jawa engineer was, like how a Rex was. Anyway, it's just I like to see new content, whether it's a character or whether it's a new raid. It's always interesting. I like to see where they throw something at us.
Right. Now, can we get a commitment from you to be on the raid on time, or the stream on time next week?
Well, yeah, we're gonna work very diligently on that, and I humbly apologize.
Minus the hour-long pee, I guess you supposedly took before you joined the stream.
Yes, minus the hour-long pee.
I mean, I've heard of some epic pees in history, but I've never heard of one that long.
Well,
you just gotta wait for the shake.
That is a mighty shake, and the earth trembled and the sky fell. For Grande had completed his PP session. All right,
well,
so
if I'm to quote Sum 41, or I'm sorry, if I'm to quote Good Charlie, they get more than 3 times. You're just playing with yourself.
Well, I play with myself a lot then. So, all right. So I think that's going to be the end of the stream. I don't see any other questions.
Oh, thank God.
So
the discussion went right at the end.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. So, hey, I've got the new ending scene up. So, Finity, I'll let you take over and kind of tell people where they can subscribe, where they can watch us. Have at you, sir.
All right. So if you guys enjoyed our stream, please make sure that you like our video. Please subscribe to us. We will be doing our streams pretty much every week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. We're updating our website with different content.
Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our website where we put up some different things every now and then. We'll put up links to the streams and the videos, but we'll also put up some different graphics and stuff that we're using. We are updating our Twitter and Facebook pages, so please follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Go ahead and join those. And that's pretty much it. We have some links in the descriptions for you guys to go ahead and check out. We'll be adding Baldo's YouTube link in there as well, so you guys can visit him. But that's pretty much it.
And we do have some fun stuff up there. We did a little video with Ugnaught. We did start our little comic thing that we're doing. You want to talk about that real quick before we end the stream?
Yeah, so we have an audio comic. Ranger did a great job in doing the voiceover of what actually happened with Luke and Yoda with Batman and Bane. So go ahead and check that out. We do have some plans that we're working on to make it even better. So, yeah, just be ready for those coming up.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, for myself, Ranger J 1999, for the Great Finity, for Dark Lord of the Sith Lampshade, and the Great Bearded One himself, Gandalf the Grand Patron, this is Real Sith Genius signing off. Thanks for everyone for showing up, and we will see you next week.